welcome to my channel and welcome to another episode of Very Necessary. This is a visual podcast where I basically just talk about the things that have been happening in celebrity and popular culture within the recent time period. So like whenever I record an episode, it's usually maybe like 2 weeks or so before the next one. So whatever caught my eye during that time, that's what I talk about. Moving on, we can also talk about the elephant in the room, which is of course the fact that I am dressed like The Rock circa his senior year of high school. When I first put this on today, I said, wow, you know, I like this little necklace and this little sweater. It's giving fancy athleisure. I don't know what I thought I was doing. But then I looked in the mirror and I said, no girl, you do indeed look like The Rock. All you need is a little fanny pack. So, but I'm not wearing one. Let's also talk about the fact that I have decided to get into the holiday spirit on my head. And I have this cute little ginger number on here, this little ginger bob. It's just me wanting to try out different things and be slightly creative. I've also tried to do some eyeshadow, which is something I don't normally do. Just trying to be creative. I do want to show you guys the brand that this little wig is, not because this is sponsored content. I'm not a hair YouTuber. I'm just not, and I never will be. But I do think that this is a good and an important brand for us lazies out there who don't want to lay body hair. Don't want to lay baby hair. Don't really have time to learn how to, and just kind of want to take a wig out of the box, shake it a little bit, and put it on. And of course, like if you know how to do that, you can do that with this one. I've seen those. I've seen people do that on TikTok, and on YouTube. But I didn't want to do that, and I think it looks fine. I mean, I think it looks fine. Again, this is just for experimentation, and I think it's fun, and so that's why I've got it on. Let's get into the first topic. By the time this video airs, the baby has already been born, and the baby that I'm talking about is, of course, the baby that Tristan Thompson had with another woman who was not Khloe Kardashian. If you don't know, Tristan Thompson is a young man who has terrorized Khloe Kardashian, the youngest Kardashian sister, terrorized her life since they met back in like 2016. And when I say terrorize, I mean he cheats on her at a psychopathic rate and embarrasses the literal shit out of her every chance he gets. And the thing that's so crazy about Tristan is there's always video. Like it's never just like conjecture. It's never just like whispers. These are straight up videos that TMZ and Entertainment, like these are videos that people will have that show him cheating on, show him making out with girls. I mean, and you know, so there's no way for it to be denied, and yet it continues to happen to her. And just to talk about the other side of that, she continues to let him back into her life. And what's interesting about this situation is the baby was conceived because, Khloe and Tristan, they were trying to come back together for the sake of True. He got caught cheating. They split apart. It was never fully confirmed that they were back together again, I don't think. But, it was. So then they got back together again. And I do remember this, like during the pandemic or something, because she was talking about trying to have another child with him and maybe doing a surrogate. But while they were together, he sleeps with this other woman and conceives this child, which she has given birth to as of now. And the thing is that the woman has had to sue him for child support because Tristan tried to pay her $75,000 so she would just go away. The whole situation is super messy. And I really hope that this time around, Khloe does something for herself and she sets boundaries for herself. She just strikes me as the type of person that is so worried on nurturing everybody else and so worried on caring about everybody else. And I'm not a Kardashian fan. Like, I'm not like, oh, she's the greatest thing in the world. I don't feel that about any of them, But I just, as a woman, I hate to see a woman clowned like this. I hate to see it. I hate to see a situation where you have somebody that clearly has a problem. Tristan has a problem. He has a problem. Something is wrong with him. And someone else who is so accepting of this and so forgiving of this that they continue to get kicked. And I hate to see that. And so I hope that this time around, she sets those tough boundaries. But, Tristan has another baby with a woman named Jordan. And you don't ever see them posted up on Instagram together. You don't ever see them, talking about we went on family vacations and we did that. She takes her financial support from him. She lets him see her son, but that's it. And I hope that's what happens with Khloe and Tristan. Moving on to another couple who cheating was exposed within their coupleship this week, and they split ways. Anthony Ramos and Jasmine Cephus Jones. Anthony Ramos is the young man. He starred as Usnavi in The Heights this summer. He was also in Hamilton, and so was Jasmine, and that's where they met. They were together for 6 total years, 3 dating, 3 engaged. What is so wild about this is the timeline of when it was announced that he had like been cheating on her, and then their formal breakup was announced. So I know that I was on social media. I think it was earlier this week or earlier last week, because today is Sunday. So it was earlier last week. I was on social media, and there was a video going around that basically showed Anthony in a strip club with a girl that was not Jasmine, being all over her, doing whatever else. And the way I saw it was this video right here on TikTok. Somebody had sent it in, and this account that like acts out celebrity blind items posted about it. And all of us who watched that video were like, wait, what? So we all went to like Jasmine's IG to see if there was any evidence of whatever, like had they broken up. And she had wiped him from her Instagram page. And his birthday is November the 1st. And so I think she had posted, like, there was a birthday post about him on her Instagram. She had wiped it off. She'd taken it off. There was no sign of him anywhere on her page. And you're with somebody for 6 years, they're going to be on your social media, and he wasn't there. And so we were all like, there might be something to this, right? And then, of course, like the very next day, it was announced that they had broken up. The tabloids, or like, I guess the news magazines, like People and such, they didn't really go into the cheating allegations, but social media was abuzz with it. There was even this tweet, where people basically said, hey, he's been cheating on her for years. And that's not a surprise to me at all. First of all, I don't believe in long engagements. So they were together for 3 years. They were engaged for 3. That has never made sense to me. And I know you can say, well, maybe they were engaged while they got their money up, while they grew their careers. Don't get engaged. To me, engagement is we plan to marry. I don't understand the benefits of engagement without it leading to an actual marriage. Like, you can still be in a common law partnership. You can still be all those things without going through that rigmarole. I feel like when you have a long engagement, I feel like it's a car that starts but never actually gets on the road. It doesn't make sense to me. I've always said that if I was ever, the small chance that exists that I ever get engaged, honestly, I can honestly see that thing lasting like 2 months. And I can see that thing being like literally we get engaged and then a weekend later we're at the courthouse. Like, I don't have time for stretching that out. I'm very When Harry Met Sally about it. And if you've ever seen that movie, you know that one of the iconic lines that Billy Crystal says is, when you find someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, you want the rest of your life to start right away. And so, yeah, when you tell me we've been dating for 3 years, we were engaged for 3 years, so this man took 6 years of your time, 6 years, and you don't have, at the same time, like I said, the cheating doesn't surprise me because he is a young guy. And his career, as we've known him, he's gone from strength to strength to strength. And that's a lot of opportunity for exposure to people that are going to possibly be attracted to you. He is a singer. He is a dancer. And I'm going to say something a little toxic here. He is a Scorpio. He's a male Scorpio. Listen. I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus. You guys know I hate space racism. But I do have to say, I have so many friends who, over the course of my lifetime, who have told me that they have a terrible story about dealing with a Scorpio man. Like, just they were taken. Scorpio men, to me, are the epitome of that one Twitter trend a couple months ago, whatever, that was like, men will take you to a place and then blank, and then take you to blank. And so to me, Scorpio men are the epitome of men will take you to a place and then take you straight to hell. Like cheating, emotional manipulation, dragging things out, not committing, like all of these things that I've experienced, that other women have experienced. And the most annoying thing I think about them is they're always so alluring. People want to be around them. People want to be with them. I remember I was dating this guy a long time ago, and this dude had no car. He had issues with, all he did was smoke, all day. He was like, he wouldn't take care of himself. We tussled. We went back and forth with this for a little while. It was a short amount of time, like 5 months. And one time we had separated. And when we were trying to reconcile, he said, well, there has been another girl. There has been another girl. And I'm thinking, how? It's only been a week, one. And two, you literally have nothing to offer. But it's that energy, I think. Like, they are just very, very, like, people want to be with them. So just to wrap up me being extremely toxic here, and that doesn't surprise me. Like, you have this guy who's a singer, like I said, a dancer, and he's just naturally going to be very alluring to people. And yeah, so that doesn't surprise me. And here's my final thought on that. Jasmine is gorgeous. She is a beautiful girl. And I feel like, you know, she's young. She's like, what is she, 32? She's going to find someone else. And I hope that man doesn't just take 6 years of her time. So, yeah. Okay, next up, speaking of celebrity things that I saw on TikTok first. In my last episode of this show, I talked about Will Smith and the fact that I feel like in his latest press tour for his book, I feel like he overshares a little too much. And I am an oversharer. If you have seen any of the story times, I am probably exposing things about my life that other people would not ever think of saying. But I just want it to be known for the record, I actually do keep a lot of those stories to myself as well. So what I mean by that is I will tell a story and I will just like not reveal some of the elements of that story. There's a filter that even I have as an oversharer. And I also think with me, you don't know me. I don't have a brand outside of YouTube. I'm not already a cemented and established star. And so when I'm oversharing, it's just like, what is this crazy woman talking about now? What is she talking about? But when Will Smith, who has built a wonderful career, who has a stellar reputation, who had, for a long time he was seen as this like icon of Black Hollywood, when he says some of the things he says, it's jolting. It causes a little bit of, it's horrifying, actually. And it's just, it makes people feel uneasy and people don't want it. And they don't want it so much that they started a petition to keep Will and Jada from ever being interviewed again. As of right now, I'm not sure of how many signatures the petition had, but it's supposedly trying to get to 7,500. People are tired of it. They're tired of the oversharing. And I think what pushed them over the edge was when Will admitted that in his youth he'd had so much sex that the act of finishing made him vomit and he had to go to like therapy for it. That was a lot of people's last straw. That was their 13th reason. That was it for them. I thought that was hilarious because I had just talked about it in the last episode, like, whoa, dude, chill. And then after I did that last episode, he came out and he said this thing about the vomiting, and I was like, so it's not going to get any better, huh? Okay. So, yeah, I didn't sign the petition, but I love some of the comments that I've seen on after people leave their signatures. And, I'm with them. If I think there has to be an agreement between speaker and audience where if you see that your audience is like, no, thank you, I don't want any more of this, cut it. Take it back. Like just chill. I know for me, I wanted to do another story time about a time that I had my heart like broken at a Friendsgiving. And I said, these people are probably tired of my sad dating stories. I'm gonna keep that one to myself. But if you want to hear it, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely tell it to you. Okay, speaking of celebrities oversharing, I gotta talk about Britney Spears. Her conservatorship ended and she celebrated her 40th birthday this week. And Britney got on Instagram and she posted an entire skit playing the part of her therapist. I think that role was just basically all the therapists she's been asked to see over the years. And at one point, she just starts saying every curse word that can come to her mind. And I think the cursing was actually like a different part. I'm going to be honest with you. I will link the Instagram post below. It was so cringy. I don't know how the youths use that, whatever. I did not like looking at that. I know that Britney is free now and she's going to be letting out a lot of feelings and a lot of whatever. She's gonna be letting her freedom be felt and she's gonna let it be known. However, I don't know that I always want to see it. And I think the expletive-filled rant for me I was just like, oh, that's kind of awkward. But I understood it at the same time. I mean, you have a woman who her entire life, like, first wasn't even allowed to use social media, and then when she was allowed to use it, had to kind of lie and say, I'm feeling great, I'm doing great, everything's great. She's finally free, and she's like, I'm literally a 40-year-old mother of 2, and I'm a millionaire, like, and I am a pop icon. I'm going to do whatever I want. So I understand it, but it doesn't mean I want to watch it, if that makes sense. So I'll link it below, and yeah, you can see that for yourself. Okay, moving on down the line. I do want to talk about this really quickly. I want to talk about it because I think it's going to make a great true crime story. And like, whenever somebody wants to pick it up and wants to cover it. And that is that I think it was $600,000 that were found in the walls of Lakewood Church. And if you don't know what Lakewood Church is, it is a huge mega church in Houston, Texas. And the pastor of the church is Joel Osteen, and he is the, I think of him as like the varsity cheerleader of Christian televangelists. He, to me, is great to listen to if you just want like a megaphone of positivity just banging in your ear. He's very good at, sort of what do they call it? They call it the prosperity gospel and that kind of thing. He's not, to me, he's not the pastor that you want to listen to if you want like some actual meat and potatoes. He's somebody that you listen to when you want to feel good. So, because he makes people feel good, he's very popular, but he's gotten a lot of scrutiny in the past couple years because he is also kind of sketchy. One of the sketchy things he did was during Hurricane Harvey. People were out of their homes. They didn't have anywhere to go. Lakewood, the church he is the pastor of, would not open their doors to bring people in. And so after like pressure from the media and pressure from the people in the community, they finally did open their doors to this huge facility where they had all this room and let people in. Now, on the other side of that, I will say, like, that is their building. That is where they do worship. Like, you never know what is going to happen. When you let a bunch of people in, you don't know how they're going to affect your property, so on and so forth. But, Mattress Mac, he's another Houston icon. He has these furniture stores in Houston. He let people in to sleep on the beds, to do whatever. We'll take care of it when this is over. But if people need shelter, they need shelter. And so it's like, if a furniture store salesman can do it, why can't the church do it? So, but eventually he did let people in, and they were able to take shelter in his in this big church that he has. A couple years ago, he reported this money stolen, this $600,000. He said it's been stolen. He filed like for insurance on it, all this stuff. Well, this past week, somebody that was there doing work found envelopes in the walls of the church with $600,000 in them. This is so sketchy. I do not think, I'm very interested in how it all unfolds. This is exactly what people talk about when people who are not involved directly in Christian churches, when they talk about like corruption and when they talk about like, this is what they mean. This reminds me of like some Tammy Faye Baker and whoever her husband was or is, or I say was because he's still alive, but she's passed away. It reminds me of so many different televangelists and like huge Christian personalities who have fallen because the actual reality of either their business dealings or their private life is super sketchy. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this story unfolds. And I hope they do a really, really great like 2020 or Dateline episode on it, or maybe a 6-part series on Netflix. I'd be interested in that too. That'd be fun. Okay, so I like to end these episodes on a high note, and I'm going to talk about the Ivy Park release. This week, Beyonce put out a video for the next collection of her sports line, Ivy Park. I was a little offended when I saw the video because she didn't reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to be a part of it. And I know that, she's busy, but it's like somebody could have called. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was very well done. She used a lot of children of like sports and pop culture icons in this video. And I was a little confused at some of them, like Reese Witherspoon's daughter and her son are in it. And it's a sports themed shoot. And so I was just like, what sports do Reese Witherspoon or Ryan Felipe, who's their dad, what sports do they play? How do they qualify? Now, Kobe Bryant's daughter is in it, Natalia. And she looks gorgeous. She's all grown up. She's beautiful. She said that she was going to pursue modeling. So, like, it all made sense for why she was in there. But when I saw Reese Witherspoon's kids, I was like, what are they doing? But however, there were 2 kids that were in there that I was not confused about at all, and that was Blue Ivy and Rumi. Rumi is half of the set of twins that Beyonce had a couple years ago, Rumi and Sir, and of course Blue Ivy is her oldest daughter. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I saw them all together, mom and her 2 girls, I got a little teary-eyed. And it was this picture right here, people froze it, and this was going around social media. And I was like, please don't be surprised if I Photoshop myself into that picture and then make it my Christmas card, because it is such a gorgeous photo. And I feel like, you know, Beyonce really raised all of us. She really raised Blue Ivy, Rumi, and me. So I should be included in the photo. But I love to see the girls growing up. Blue's going to be 10 years old next year. Is she already 10? No, she'll be 10 years old in 2022. Time passes. So yeah, so I loved that ad, and I will one day get over the fact that I was not included. Okay, so that is the end of this episode. It's very short, but I just wanted to talk about a couple things here and there. And thank you if you stayed all the way to the end. Thank you for watching.